Hello and welcome to today's video. This is the start of This Video Ends When We Find a 5-star read. Except for rereads, I haven't found a 5-star since September. So yeah, and those 5 stars that I had in September, one was a non-fiction memoir, which for me almost always get 5 stars unless they're actually like shit. And the one previous to that was the 5th book in a series, which if I've read 5 books, you know, unless the series takes a massive head dive for me to have committed that much time to, you'd hope it was a 5-star. So yeah, I, you know, really want to find a 5-star in this video. I have figured out the first 2 books I'm going to do. Now, I'm not sure how well this is going to go. So, because I've only been getting 5-star rereads, I thought, oh well, I've been, you know, doing a bit of rereading. What if we continue on a series that's very easy to reread? So I have just got like a Audible deal because I couldn't find the audiobook for this anywhere else, and I'm gonna start with reading A Soul of Ash and Blood. This is the 5th book in the Blood and Ash series, which is a series I really like and really enjoy and I have high hopes for. However, I've heard that this book is a very big like nosedive for the series. Essentially, it's not the best. We essentially, from what I know of this book, we are reliving the events of the first 4 books from someone else's perspective, and for that reason I feel like it could not be a 5-star, so I'm a bit worried about that. And then if that one isn't a 5-star, the next one that I've found that I think could be good to read is a book called Haven. This is the sequel to a book that earlier in the year I read and gave 4.5 stars, and it was so close to being a 5-star. So I have high hopes for that, and it's a duology, so it should, you know, wrap up nicely and be really good. So I'm hoping that that might be the way to go, is reading that. But yeah, those are the first 2 books I picked out. One I'll be reading physically, one I'll be reading audibly. Honestly, I assume I'll mainly listen to the audiobook for the next couple of days because I can do that. A lot of the things I need to do I can listen audibly at the same time. But yeah, those are the first 2 books I'm going to be reading. I don't know how long this video is going to go on for. I really hope that I'll find a 5-star quickly, you know. I really feel like I need a good solid 5-star, but I guess we'll just wait and see. Except for that, there's quite a few books that I want to read this month, so I guess if neither of those first 2 are 5 stars, then we'll come back and have a look through some of the other books that I've got to look up. But yeah, I probably won't talk too much about the books except for giving my final reaction. But yeah, that's the intro. I don't know how this video is going to go. I've seen a lot of people do it and it looks fun, so hopefully by doing this and thinking a lot about what I'm reading and why I'm picking it up, hopefully we'll find a 5-star. But I guess there's only one way to find out, and that is to start reading. Okay, so book number 1, the first book we are trying, A Soul of Ash and Blood. It's I don't know, like, I'm enjoying it, but it's not a 5-star. I'm in between a third of the way through and half the way through. The audiobook itself is almost 20 hours long. It's like 19 hours 45 minutes, and I've got 11 hours 33 minutes left of it, so like not far off being halfway through. And like, it's fine. I am enjoying it. I think it's nice to see these things, but it doesn't feel like a book. It feels like, you know, like a load of bonus chapters where you see something happen from someone else's perspective, like just put together. I'm kind of struggling. Like, the first chapter was really good, it like continued on from the last book, but then since then it's all just been telling things that we've already seen from someone's perspective we didn't see them from. I'm having to be intentionally vague. This is the 5th book in a series. But yeah, like, it wouldn't surprise me if I gave it 4 stars right now. It wouldn't surprise me if I gave it 3 stars right now. I'm hoping for more that we haven't seen. There've been like the little bits here and there that we've never seen before, but overall it's the same as what we've seen but from someone else's perspective. So it's not going to be 5 stars, I already know that. I'm going to finish it. I'm having a good time and it's an easy audiobook to listen to. I enjoy it and I want to continue on with these series. So, you know, even though this one's a bit of a flop for me, like, it's still not bad, but compared to what I've rated and enjoyed the other books as, it's not that. And I guess I'll check in when I've finished it with my final rating and tell you about the next book. But yeah, that's my thoughts at the moment. So unfortunately, we did not get a 5-star. Okay, hello. So it's the end of the day. During today, I have finished, I don't remember what it's called, A Soul of Ash and Blood. I finished that today. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. It was fine. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the rest of the series. So there is that. But I can now read the final book of the prequel series because you needed to read that one first. Honestly, I don't know why. Like the rest of them, I've understood the reading order because it just like makes sense so you don't get spoiled for stuff. But I really can't think of anything. I really can't think of anything that like could impact my reading of the third one that happened in this latest one, but we'll be able to find out. But yeah, I need to pick my next book. I do have it both physically and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I can also read it that way. But to be honest, I've got an evening where I can just chill this evening. Like we have no plans at all. So what normally happens is we both chill on the settee and I have headphones on and listen to an audiobook whilst reading along, like dual reading, and Jay'll have the TV on or read his book along with me and we'll have like an ambience on or something. But because of that, I want an audiobook. I have had a quick look. On my library I have just had become available to me a book called Gilded by Marissa Meyer, and I don't know if it's a 5-star prediction or not. Basically, the other series by the author is the Luda Chronicles series, which starts with Cinder and carries on, and I absolutely love those books. I don't remember what I gave them originally. Like, they were definitely 5-star reads when I read them as a teenager. I know I reread them recently-ish, and I feel like they were all at least 4-star reads, but like I don't remember if any of them made it to 5 stars, but this is the author's newest book. On Audible, there's quite a few on like the Plus catalogue. I've never really used Audible properly before. I got like 3 months for $2.99 or something, so I was like, do you know what, I'll do this because there's a couple of books on the Plus catalogue that aren't available anywhere else I can find that would be really helpful for me this coming couple of months, so decided to go for it. But I've been looking through the Plus catalogue. There is one called The Bridge Kingdom, which I have eyed up a few times on Kindle Unlimited but not gone for, so I'm intrigued by that. That could be a good one to pick, but I don't have the physical book to read along with it. And then on Scribd, which is now not called Scribd, it's now called Everand. I don't understand the change or exactly what's going on, but it does seem to just change names. But the subscription's still coming out my account as Scribd, so I don't know. But on Everand / Scribd / I don't understand it yet, I have the Iron Flame audiobook available to me. I gave the first book of this a 4-star, so I feel like there's potential. I also have the Shadow Cabinet audiobook available to me. I gave the first book of this either 4.5 or 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I have already started trying to read this one, and the very first chapter is the perspective of someone we've never seen the perspective of before. I haven't got more than 40 pages in, I don't think. So like I'm not far in. I don't know. This is a 5-star prediction, but when I started reading it, it was quite a shock to have this new perspective. I don't know. This is one that I feel like could be good. Have I got any others? I think we're just between the Gilded, Iron Flame and the Shadow Cabinet. I don't think there's any others on here that I'm like, oh yeah, these are 5-star predictions. There's none of us that are jumping out as like, these are 5-star predictions, I'm gonna love this sort of thing. And then what have I got here? The problem is there's a lot of books on my bedside table, which is what you're sat on, but I just don't have the audiobooks available, and I know that tomorrow I can get like 8 hours of reading in whilst I'm cleaning, probably. Like 8 might be a bit much. It's probably gonna take about 6 hours to clean, I reckon. So like, that's a lot of reading time. I need to pick. I think I'm just gonna go for Iron Flame. I truly don't know between Iron Flame and the Shadow Cabinet what has the most chance. Like, honestly, I'm leaning towards the Shadow Cabinet having the most chance. If I hadn't read that first chapter and struggled with it, being from a new perspective, it would definitely be winning this. But I feel like I'm also picking Iron Flame because it's only just come out. I'm also like, if I read it now, then I shouldn't get spoiled. Like, I've already seen like fan art stuff going around and I'm like, I can't click on it because like the hype's so big, like people aren't putting spoiler warnings. So I think I'm gonna go for this. I'm confident that this will be at least 4 stars. I think it depends how much more we get of the world building and like the actual plot in this compared to the first book as to whether it can make it to 5 stars. And like, yeah, I think for now this is a good contender for a 5-star book. This is the sequel to Fourth Wing. You are going into the Riders Quadrant at college and you both need to pass the trials and prove that you are strong enough and capable enough of being a rider, and you also have to be selected by a dragon. In the Riders Quadrant, you either become a dragon rider or you die. Those are the 2 ways to exit the college courses, is you become a dragon rider or you die. And that's book 1. It's a fantasy romance. Book 1 was fun enough. Do you know, there's actually, I'll link it up here. I did a whole video for book 1. It's not the best video, I'm not gonna lie. I filmed it whilst I was ill, so I don't feel like my updates are amazing, but I'm intrigued enough by this. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Hello. I figured I should probably update. I reckon I'm about halfway through this book now. Like, yeah, halfway seems about right. I'm just under 300 pages. I think it's about 620 pages total. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Right now, I imagine it'll be a 4 stars. I feel like it could be a 4.5, but I'm just not sure. The problem is, if I was going into this book expecting a YA book, I feel like it could get more. Like, obviously it isn't YA because, you know, like the violence and the sex, it'd be like not like as detailed as it is, not as bloody as it is. I don't know, like, you know, like it would be more younger appropriate. But the actual plot and how simple everything seems and the scale that things seem to be on, it reads like YA, which is just leaving me a bit disappointed. It's like, I'm having so much fun with this, I'm having a great time, I like our characters, I like what's going on, it's a bit of fun. It's not reading like how it's been, well, like, it's not reading as the age of fantasy that it's been marketed as. I can't see it being 5 stars because of that. Like, I don't know, like the actual plot points and the actual things that are taking place, the world, the things that are going on, seem too immature for like the book itself and like where it's meant to be. I don't know, I don't think I've explained that very well, but yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, I'm having fun. Don't think it's gonna be a 5 star. Hello. So I actually finished Iron Flame this morning, but I haven't checked in yet. One, because I haven't been ready to pick up another book yet, even though in a minute I'm gonna go to bed, and I know at that point I will want to pick up another book, which is why I'm recording now. But yeah, I finished it this morning and I just can't decide what rating to give it. I give ratings in like 0.5s. This feels better than a 4 star. Like, I gave Fourth Wing 4 stars. Iron Flame, I enjoyed it a lot more. It got more complex, we got more like world building, more character strength, like we got all of that. Like, it was definitely better, but it doesn't feel like a 4.5. Like, if I gave like 0.25 ratings, I would probably give it 4.25 no problem. But now I'm just like sat here and I've been like, you know, in increments all day thinking, do I give it 4 star? Do I give it 4.5 star? I'm looking through my spreadsheet now and looking at the books that I've given 4.5 stars to, and I'm like, but it's better than the books that I've given 4 stars to. It shouldn't matter, it doesn't matter this much. Either way, for this purpose of this video, it wasn't a 5 star. I don't know what book I'm going to pick up next. Essentially, between Haven and the Shadow Cabinet, I feel like there's kind of equal chance of what we're going to end up with. I am honestly probably just going to find a book that I have an audiobook for. I don't even know where my phone is. Here it is. Okay, I do not like the writing style of this book. That is a no. I mean, it still could be a 5 star, like, but I don't think I'm going to be listening to it on audio. Do you know what? I'm going to figure out a book to read that I think could be 5 stars before I go to bed tonight, and I'll check in tomorrow because I'm just scrolling here and I don't know what to pick. I need to do a bit of proper research, I think, to figure out what I've got available to me. Okay, so it has actually been an entire day. I'm just in the office again and I have ended up in a dressing gown again. So last night I ended up reading, oh, I tried to sort my sleeping pattern out, it was a disaster, but I ended up reading the entirety of Kingdom of Blood and Salt, which is just like a random book that I found recommended on TikTok to read on Kindle Unlimited, and I read it all and I gave it 3 stars. Obviously it's not the 5-star we need for this video, but to be honest I'm just not in a proper reading mood, and because I got like, you know, it was a fun enough time, I feel like I'm probably just gonna like set myself up this evening and read some books on my Kindle. I don't think I've got any on there that are like 5-star predictions. I should be able to see them all on my phone, but like I do want to find a 5-star. I just can't be asked to think about it. I don't want to have to figure out what book to read basically. I just want to have a book to read in front of me, which yes sounds very lazy, but that is how I feel. Okay, I do have a copy of Haven on Kindle, which is a 5-star prediction. I might do that. I gave book 1 4.5 star and it's only a duology, and I feel like everything has to wrap up in the second book, so like maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll read that one this evening. Obviously I've told you basically nothing about Kingdom of Blood and Salt. It was an alright fantasy romance. I will continue on with the series. It was a fun time, but it was really short. It was only like 300 pages and we didn't get a lot of world building. The world that sounded very interesting we didn't see any of, and I don't really feel like it showed us enough of a main character to really know who they are. So like I had fun with it. It was a fun enough time to like follow along. It was a very, sometimes when you want to watch a movie you just want to put a movie on that you can be a bit brain dead, like brain foggy, leave your brain at home, thank you. Leave your brain at home for, and that's the sort of book it was. It was just leave your brain at home, have a fun time. So I enjoyed it, but like I can't give it more than 3 stars, so yeah. But yeah, let's read Haven this evening. In the first book of the Haven duology, which is actually called the Broken Wings Duet, and the first book is called Airy, we have our 2 main characters. One of them has essentially got like in trouble. They're a part of like the, I don't think it's actually the military, I think they're just called like the guard, but she's got in trouble and she's basically, as her like punishment for that, has been sent to a prison. She's now going to be the new warden at the prison, and when she gets there it turns out this prison is only housing 1 prisoner, and that is our other main character. Our other main character is the prisoner at the prison, and they are an Airy, which is a species that have wings. They can fly. This prisoner can't fly because they've had their wings broken, and essentially it's just a very slow story about friendship, and potentially more than friendship, developing between these 2, and the political situation of being at this prison, people popping up from the past, other like side characters that work there that honestly have great personalities. So you know that we have kind of our 2 main characters, but then I think there's probably like 5 or 6 characters total that you know well. And yeah, it was a really good book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I can't really say much more without spoilers, but I had a great time and I think it worked really well. It seemed very realistic, it was very fun, and we left on quite a cliffhanger, so I cannot wait to pick up book 2. Jay's making noise. Okay, it's been days. I'm on 8% of Haven, which is the book that I'm actively trying to read. I've ended up reading a few other like bits of books. I haven't finished any other books since I last checked in, I don't think. So Haven, what I've read so far is good. I'm only 8% in. It's only a small amount into the book. I would be, even only having read that, I'd be surprised if it's less than 4 stars. I think that my main problem is due to the situation we're starting out this book in, which is book 2 of a duology. I'm just feeling like a lot of the things that we'd got set up and that we got ready, and like, you know, both in terms of world, plot, characters, it's kind of regressed a little bit because of the situation we're in at the start of this, and it kind of does feel like a regression. So I really want to get a good chunk into it, because I'm hoping that the situation that we're in at the very start of this book, we're not going to be in for too long if we're going to be able to wrap everything up that we've still got to wrap up in this book. I can't imagine us spending too long in this situation, just like trying to think logically, like this is a duology, surely we've got a lot to wrap up, we shouldn't spend too long doing this, but I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm still hopeful, but the way it started, I'm a bit like, okay, I'm ready to get into this now. I'm ready to have, I can't say anything else for spoilers, but I'm ready to have a change. I'm ready to take the next part of the plot through. So yeah, I'm gonna read. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I've also now got a stack here, like this is my bedside table, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do Haven. Hopefully that'll be a 5-star. And then I'm probably, basically I'm umming and ahhing about these two. They're both ones that I feel like could be 5 stars. I would be very surprised. I've got a strong female character here, which is the October-November book club pick, so I do need to read it in November. Jay, my boyfriend, he hasn't been in this video, but he also does the book club. He's already read it and he said it was really good. Like, he really had a good time with it. And I've only ever experienced one like biography memoir thing where I like gave it a low rating, and there's only been one other that I was like, oh, like I didn't love it. Most of them I find really good. Like, I normally go into them having a lot of knowledge already, and I feel like I already have that. So I feel like that is like, I would be so surprised if strong female character doesn't get 5 stars. But if we can't get a 5-star out of Haven, the Shadow Cabinet, or strong female character, like honestly I don't know what I'll do, because I feel like I've tried a lot. So I'm gonna leave this for now, and I'll come back with an update when I've got an update. I am about 50% of the way into Haven, and to be perfectly honest, I can tell you now it's not going to get 5 stars. Unfortunately the pacing is just really off. We keep skipping over large amounts of time, and then we keep having flashbacks that seem to be things it's like, oh, like this would be important or nice to add in, but it hasn't been added in anywhere yet, so I'll just add it in right before when it's convenient. And I don't know, like I'm still really enjoying it. Like I still think it'll be 4 stars. I still really like the characters, but it's not giving me those same fuzzy feelings as book 1. And even book 1 I gave 4.5 rather than 5, because there were a few things that I wasn't like 100% on. So yeah, I am gonna put it down for now, because this is a 5-star video and I want to get a 5-star, and I expected to have one by now. I haven't been reading very fast, I will say that. So I need to pick a book to read, and I think I'm going to pick up HMRC. I think I'm going to pick it up and commit to reading 25% today, and then at the 25% mark I can have a look and see how I'm feeling and decide. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because book 1 was 5-star, HMRC 1 was 5 stars. But the Shadow Cabinet, I'm just... If I hadn't read chapter 1, I'd be like, it's 5-star. But I read chapter 1 and it was really quite jarring. But I'm hoping, 1, that will either be intentional and we'll get lots out of that. Or 2, it will like feel normal once we've had a few more chapters from that person's perspective. But yeah, that's the plan, So I'll check in when I've read a good chunk. Hello. So I'm getting a good way into this now. This is the Shadow Cabinet and I'm enjoying it. It's good. I'm having a good fun time. It doesn't feel like 5 stars. I feel like there's just quite a bit in it that's a bit jarring, especially compared to the first one. Like the first one had like this really lovely flow and it went all the way through, and like this is still fun. I'm still having a good time. I'm still enjoying the plot elements, and I will definitely basically be picking this up as soon as I've found a 5-star, but this is not my 5-star. And yeah, I could continue reading it. I reckon I'll read it over the next couple of days, but to be honest, I really want to find this 5-star now. I truly think this will be a 4 or a 4.5, like depending on how it goes. Like I'm not quite halfway yet, so can't say for definite, but I feel like by this point, if I was going to give it 5-star, I'd be absolutely loving it, or absolutely loving at least some elements of it, and I'm just not there yet. So yeah, not 5-star, but I reckon it will be close. The book I'm going to pick up is Strong Female Character. This is a book club selection for October and November. I've still got a few days to read it, and then we make a video on it. Me and Jay discuss it. So I've still got this to read, and the audiobook is available on Spotify. If you already pay for premium Spotify, then this is one of the audiobooks that's just automatically available to you. And honestly, like I really think this is going to be good. Jay's already read it, so that fills me with hope. He said it's really good, and I feel like I have to come away from a memoir either really hating the person and like not liking who they are, or just the writing is actually shite to like not give it 5 stars. I find memoirs are really lovely ways to basically like see other people's stories and experiences, and I don't think it's really up to me to rate that. So they do tend to be 5 stars. I tend to really enjoy them and I tend to read through them. So that is the plan for this one. I will check in when I'm a chunk of the way in. I'm not sure how this is set up. I think it might be chaptered. Okay, yeah, so it looks like there's 14 chapters, so I'll try and remember to check in when I'm at like 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there, and tell you my initial thoughts. I'm hoping by that point it'll be clear it's 5 stars, but I guess we'll wait and see. Honestly, if this isn't, I do not know what I'm picking, because I do not know where my head's at and what it wants to read. But yeah, let's get started on this one. Hello. So I think I might have found a 5 star, but I'm only 20% of the way through. This is strong female character. It is the Fern Brady book. I'm going to put it down because it doesn't have the dust jacket on it anyway. Yeah, it feels like a 5 star. It does. It really, really feels like a 5 star read. But I'm only 20% of the way in. So I really just need to find time to like sit down and pick it up. I'm essentially reading it via audio, but also like tandem reading. Is it called tandem reading? We're gonna go with that. Hopefully you know what I mean if that's not the right word. Along with it and like annotating along with it, and I don't want to use the word fun because I don't think it necessarily is fun, but it is funny. Like, you know, Fern Brady's a comedian, like there are funny moments throughout it, and I don't know, like it's very, very interesting. And I think the best way I can think to describe it is from what this memoir set out to do, it's doing. I don't feel confident enough right now to feel like this is definitely 100% a 5 star. There's been a couple of moments where it's just kind of felt a bit, no, the memoir didn't set out to do this thing, but this would have been a perfect opportunity for it to have, or this is something a bit odd. Maybe, hopefully, potentially it will rectify this, change this later on. And there's just been a couple of those which right now, don't get me wrong, are nowhere near enough to like mark it down at all. Like, they're not things that I expected from the memoir, but like they're all like silly things. They're like, oh, like, okay, maybe we're not using the nicest words here. I wonder if that will change as we get into the memoir and like time changes throughout. And I feel like the only other thing that I've properly mentioned is something that I feel is definitely happening that's not being called out, and it's like, yeah, okay, this memoir didn't set out in the slightest to do this thing, but is it going to get called out? And I don't know or think it is, but I also don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because I think it's another conversational point, the potential reasons why. Like, I don't think there's any bad reason why these things aren't happening. So yeah, nowhere near enough to call it out, but the fact that I've still got, you know, another 4 times that to go, I don't know what I'm going to come across, like, you know, like I really don't know. So I'm very happy, very intrigued, very excited to continue on reading, and I feel like I'm learning a lot as well. Like, in the memoir it's just about this one person, but I do feel like it's very informative. I don't know, I'm having a really good time, and that's not something you can often say when reading a memoir. Like, even the difficult things, even the like not so nice things to read, the way that the humour is used just makes it very easy and feels just very conversational. Like, yeah, I don't know, but that's my check-in. The only unfortunate thing is I started this video 2 weeks ago and I really thought I would have found a 5 star by now. Okay, hello. It's actually been a while. I think it's been about 4 or 5 days, but I have finished Strong Female Character by Fern Brady, and it is definitely a 5 stars. I really had a good time with it, a good time reading it. It was educational in a way that felt very like easy to understand and natural, and also, even though I feel like I already have like a fairly decent understanding on the topic, I don't think it was the perfect book, but I think it set out to do absolutely everything it set out to do on the back. And the main problem that I actually had with the book was there were like 5 to 6 comments that just made me feel like maybe the author still needed to work through their feelings towards like dieting and like fat versus thin culture a little bit more. But the author is also very open about the fact that they're like in therapy and are working through a lot of things, so that was the only reason that I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, overall 5 stars, amazing. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a really good, easy read. But yeah, I'm really glad I read it. It's definitely 5 stars and I definitely feel good for having eventually had a 5 star. I think I've actually read another book that like I haven't even mentioned in this video in like the last few days because I can't read this at night time and I like can't read the physical book. So I have read a book on my Kindle as well and that was 4 stars. I don't really need to mention it. We've got a 5 star read. We've got our 5 star read right here. I'm really happy. So yeah, the video is ending. We've got our 5 star read. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't given this book a try, I'd definitely say like read the back, read the synopsis, read the description. Here it is if you want to pause the video, and if it sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend. So yeah, that's it for now. I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please do give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this. If you want to hear more about this book or you've already read it and would like more of a discussion, there will be a video out in the next week and a half, because this is our book club pick for October, November, so that discussion will be coming very, very soon, so keep your eyes open for that. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.